Welcome back to a new episode of DevDrawer. Today we're going to be going over how to create a website in about 15 minutes, even if you don't have programming experience. But before we get started, I want to go ahead and ask you to like and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell, just so you'll be aware of new tutorials whenever I come out with them in the future. So just to recap, one of our last videos that we did with WordPress, we created a custom template. We used Duplicator to duplicate it out and be able to push it out to staging or production, or in our instance, we actually created a duplicated.local, so I can show you the process of it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that now. And this is the custom theme that we had built using TypeRocket, and then just kind of building it out ourselves. So I don't want to do that this time. I'm actually going to show you how to, without any programming experience, any coding experience, be able to go in here and create your own WordPress website for your business. So if you don't have a domain and hosting, you can sign up for those with GoDaddy or A2 Hosting or Bluehost or HostGator. You know, there's a bunch of different companies you can use to sign up for hosting. This is going to assume that you're either doing it locally on your development machine and you just want to build out something for a client, or if you're building it out for your business, it's going to assume that you already have hosting. If you don't have hosting, there is a link in the description that you can go through. We use A2 Hosting because it's one of the best hosting companies I've ever used, and I highly recommend them. So if you click on that link, it'll bring you to our landing page, so you can go in there and select a package for your company. So if you already have hosting, or if you're doing this on local development, you can skip that step and go straight into the tutorial. In one of the next videos, we'll go over how to set up the hosting side of it. But let's just say you already have hosting, you already purchased everything, you're just ready to go with a new website. So using what we've done last time, we've created this WordPress website. If you haven't installed WordPress, we have a video where I went over step-by-step how to install WordPress on a local machine, and it's the same process whenever you go to do it on a production server for your business. So I'm going to go ahead and get started into customizing this duplicated website using a theme that you can modify pretty easily with Elementor. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to log into the administration panel of our website, and we're going to log in, and from here we are going to look at the themes that we have. So previously we've created this DevDrawer theme, and then we've also used a WordPress Bootstrap starter theme in the first video that we did, but now we're actually going to add a new theme. So we're going to add a new theme here, and we're going to search for a theme called Astra, A-S-T-R-A. This is a very versatile theme. It allows you to kind of start fresh with a few of their own templates. So once you have it pop up here, go ahead and install it, and then we're going to activate it as our primary theme. So let's go ahead and click activate, and now we have this theme is our primary theme. So I'm going to open up our theme or our website in a new window. So this is the generic page. We haven't done anything to this website outside of creating that custom theme. So for this, we're going to be pretty much starting over from scratch. So one thing that you want to include whenever you activate an Astra theme is they have a plugin called Astra. So if you add a new plugin, and we're going to do a search for the Astra plugin, this will give you widgets, it'll give you starter templates and stuff like this. So we're going to start with this starter templates, and that's going to install this plugin for us to be able to pull directly from Astra's pre-built templates. And it covers a lot of businesses, so you'll kind of see what I mean whenever I get there. So if you go to Appearance and then go to Starter Templates, and we click on this, you have a way to filter down by which type of system that you want to use. So Elementor is one of the more popular ones. You can also use Gutenberg, which is built in with WordPress, but we're going to use Elementor for this because I like the way Elementor works. So they have your free themes, and then they also have agency themes, which is a paid premium theme. We're going to not do those right now. If you want to, it's not that expensive to sign up for access to all of the themes if you're an agency. If you're a business trying to get started doing your own website, then this would probably be the better way for you to go, is just to use one of their free themes, which is still very well built. So let's say if you are a a nonprofit, for example. Let's go to search in for nonprofit, and you can see that there's two different themes for nonprofit. This one right here is the free one, and then this one right here is the agency one. And you can filter those down by, you know, whatever you want to. Let's say if you're a dentist, you can see that you have a few different themes that you can choose from here. So I've previously used this theme as just kind of like a jumping point to learn Astra a little bit, because I usually do the custom development of the themes, but I wanted to give you all different ways that you can use it. And this is a great theme, but it's a single page theme, so I'm not going to be able to show you some of the customizations you can do for individual pages. So I'm going to do something. I know that there's a really nice looking restaurant theme called the barbecue place. This one is an amazing template. It's got video integration and it's really cool. So what I'm going to do is you click on the theme that you want, and then down here you have the option to import the complete site, which would import the home, about us menu, and contact us page. Or you can come over here and import home template. If you want to see what it would look like prior to you importing it, you can actually click on this and it will open up in a new window, so you can see what this template will look like as it is imported into your website. So this is using their demo server for the barbecue place. So we're going to go ahead and get out of that, and we're going to import the complete site. If you have tried to use another Astra theme, you can check this box right here to delete the previously imported theme if you just didn't like it. But right now we don't have any other Astra themes on there, so we're going to leave this unchecked. And then you can import the customizer settings, which Astra relies heavily on WordPress's theme customizer. So you can change the branding, you can change the button colors. There's a lot of differences you can change in it. You can also import their required widgets or required plugins, their widgets, and the content that you see on the demo site. So we're just going to leave everything checked, and we're going to import the entire thing. Okay, so typically it takes, they say, between 2 and 10 minutes. I have a pretty fast connection here, so it took about 2 minutes for me to import everything. So I went ahead and paused the video just in case it took a little bit longer, but now I'm back to where you'll end up after the import is done. And basically it goes through and it says that it's installing the plugins, importing the content, all that kind of good stuff. If you have any issues with it hanging up on something, like for example, if it's trying to install a plugin and it doesn't work or whatever, you can actually cancel it and then re-import it, and it'll kind of start back where you were. They also give you the ability to manually import some of the plugins that you need for it, but in our case it actually went through successfully, so it should go through successfully for you as well. So since we have the theme installed, I'm going to click View Site, which now it goes to duplicated.local, and it should appear with what you saw in the demo for their website. So as you can see, all of this information here is the exact same, so they kind of give you an idea of what you can do, what you can change to edit everything. So now that we have this installed, we're going to close out of this, and I'm going to go to our plugins. So initially we didn't have any plugins installed, but it went in there and installed Elementor, it installed the header and footer blocks, as well as the starter templates and WP Forms light plugins for this theme to work exactly the way it's expected to work. So right now you could essentially end it here and have a fully functional website. However, the branding's not the same, the content's not the same, so I'm going to quickly go in there and show you how to set that up as well. So let's go into first our appearance, and like I told you before, it heavily uses the customizer settings. So if you click on appearance and then customize, and you open this up, you'll see a lot of different options that are here that weren't on the website previously, because we didn't use those customizer options when we were building the theme. So first thing you need to do is you go over here and you can change the typography of your headings. You can change, like right now it's using, I guess this is Poppins maybe. I don't know exactly what this font is, but they have their headers and their all the font that's being used for the website. So I'm going to keep all of that default, but you can come in here and change your base colors. So let's say we want to make this more of a burnt red kind of color. Let's see, whenever we go down, see if there's any changes. So those changes didn't go into effect. So let's try to do maybe a button color. So we got buttons over here, and then we can select the button color, and we're going to change the background color to that burnt red kind of look, and you can see it updates in real time so that you can see what's going on as you're doing it. So let's make it about right here, and then we're also going to change the hover of it to make it a little bit darker as well. So let's go here. Now we can hover over that button. We can see that it changed from that orange color. And then we can also, add a border to it. We can, like this button right here, you can actually remove the background completely by setting the transparency to it. So if we come over here in the background color, I'm just going to copy this for now, but if we hit clear, it will update, or it's using the default. You can set the transparency to it. So if we paste this back in and then make it fully transparent, that's on the hover, so it's a fully transparent button right now. But I'm gonna go ahead and set this back to where it was. So we have our difference in hover and normal. Alright, so that's just some quick customizations that you can do to your color scheme, your buttons. You can set the container width to be, the default for them is 1200. If you have a larger monitor, if you want to worry about larger monitors, you can move this up. You can change it from a box layout to a full width stretch layout. So let's go back a little bit and we get into the header. So the header contains your site identity, which would be where your logo is. And we can come in here and we can change out the logo, which I don't think I have any images loaded for a logo, but let's just say if it was a TripAdvisor website, you can select this. You can crop it if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and skip the cropping, and you can see how it changes that logo in real time. And then you can also change a Retina logo to match your high resolution Retina version of your logo. So I'm going to change this back real quick to the barbecue place again so that it keeps the standard branding that it had. And then once I get done making all of my changes, I can come in here and hit publish, and if we go back to our website over here and refresh, the changes, the colors that we just did, they're updated over here and over here, and then this logo would have been changed if we would have changed our logo to a different image. And then you can also come over here and say that you want, instead of the logo being on the left side, you want to have it centered, or if you want to have it on the right side, you can click on this. So we got centered logo now, or we can have a right placement logo. So a lot of really cool options that you can manage from the customizer, which again Astra relies pretty heavily on. So we're going to keep a lot of their customizer settings the default, because I want to show you how to manage it in individual pages. So before we get out of the customizer settings, what I want to show you real quick is if you hover over elements, you can see this little pencil icon shows up. It can show up in various places. So that's like over here, it doesn't show up because this isn't necessarily an editable section from the customizer. It's an editable section from the Elementor plugin that was installed, but not from the customizer. But if you look down maybe at your footer, you have different things that you can edit down here as well. Usually, this template apparently doesn't have the ability to edit some of those things directly from here. That's probably because it's using the Elementor header and footer settings. But as you can see at the top, we can change out the navigation menu here, and if you click on it, it'll actually bring you up to that section for you to be able to make changes inside the customizer. So for right now, that was a quick overview of the customizer. What I'm going to get into now is actually how to customize your pages in a little bit more in depth. So if we click out of this, it'll bring us back to the last page that we were on. But if we go to appearance now, we have this header footer builder, which is the same as the Elementor header footer and blocks. So we're going to click on this and go to the header footer builder, and we can edit that footer that we see over here. Scroll down, we can edit this from this section, and it uses Elementor. As you can see, Elementor is a really cool WYSIWYG editor, a GUI, for you to be able to edit information on your website. So let's say if we didn't want to have all of these social media icons here, we can click on this blue edit button, and it'll bring up, and let's say, you know, Google Plus isn't used that much anymore, so we're going to get rid of that, but we want to keep the rest of them on there. But you see it updated in real time with what we could change. So I'm going to hit update on the footer, and now if we refresh our page, that change that I just did on the footer will be present. Okay, so now let's go ahead and we're going to click on the 3 bars at the top, and we're going to exit to our dashboard, because we're not going to be using the front end or the back end to edit our website anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to go over to the page that we want to edit, in this case the home page, and we're going to click on edit with Elementor, and once we click it, it'll bring us to the Elementor version of this page. And we can change information pretty easily in here by hovering over anything that we see here. So let's say, for example, we want to change this to book a table. You can either click here and you see the little cursor that pops up, or you can go over here and change it. So let's say we want to do book now, and it updates it in real time. And we can also change the link. So let's say we got the about-us, I believe, is a page. Yeah, so hover over this. At the bottom of the left screen it says about-us. So now if someone clicks on this button, it's going to bring them to the about us. So let's make it go to the contact us. So let's change this out to contact-us. And I don't really like the rounded corners of these buttons, so I'm going to click on the style, and then over here I'm going to change the border radius of this button and make it where it is, let's say 5 instead of, I guess it was 20 or something like that. But you can see here it actually changed the button look, so it has a 5 pixel border radius rather than a 20 pixel or whatever this is. And then you can also change certain sides of it. So let's say we want to have the top as a 0, the right as a 20, and then we want to have the bottom as a 0, and then the left as a 20. And you can see here that it changed that icon, the button again, in order to have a border radius on the left and the right, but not on the top left and the top right. So I'm going to change all of this back to 0, and I believe that they were doing 20 or 25. Yeah, that looks about right, so let's do 30. Okay, it looks close enough. So you can go in there and customize that. And let's say if you didn't want to do steaks and barbecue, you could click on here, have the cursor, hit backspace, and let's do beer. But what happens if you have large text here? So let's do steaks and pizza. Let's do something that's a little bit longer. I don't know, what would go with steaks? So let's say wine selection. Okay, so steaks and wine selection. I don't want the text to wrap on the next line, so what I'm going to do is whenever I have this text selected, I can come over here to the style and go to typography, and I can make that size of that font to whatever size I want it to be. So I can make it super huge so it's in 3 lines, or I can make it a little bit smaller until it's here. So let's say we want to keep that where it is right now, maybe make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Alright, so now we have this section the way that we want it to. You can also come over here and click on the plus sign for any of the new sections, and you can see that you can add new things to it. So let's say if I wanted to add an image over here, like I had a skyscraper style image where it's tall, I could come in here and add that image to it. If I don't like that image, I come over here and right click, and then I can hit delete. But you have that ability. If you see these plus signs anywhere, that just means that you can add content to this, because this section is it's a column section, so you can see these little columns here and here. So let's say if we didn't want to have but just two columns, we can come over here and right click on the column and hit delete. So now we have a 2-column layout. If we want to add a new column, we right click, add new column. You can also drag and drop. So let's say we want to move this back to the middle, and right now they're all equally spaced, but I want to have that center section a lot bigger. So I grab right next to this intersection, and I drag it over here. Then I can grab it over here and drag it over here. And there's percentages that you can rely on. So like right now it's 19.1%, 19%. And then we come over here and we want to make this one 19% as well, so that they're both the same size. And now we have it's back centered to where it was. So you can also see you have this video playing in the background. So you come up here and you have the little navigation pop-up that appears for this section. You can edit this section by clicking on it, and then you can see all of the options for that section. And if we go to the style again, you'll see that right now it's set to a background video type, but we can change that. So let me copy this real quick, and let's change this, and we want to have it where it's, you know, you can either do an image or you can do a solid color background. Like we can make it red. You can also come in here and do a background overlay. So right now it's set to it's a black overlay, and then it's using a linear gradient. So you can set it to a standard, just a single color, or you can set it to a gradient. I don't want to do that right now, so I'm going to switch this back to the video, and you can paste whatever you want to in the YouTube URL. So if you go to youtube.com and then you search YouTube for steak video, or whatever videos you've made for steak, you can click on it.
In 1977, I met a French.
And we're going to copy that URL that YouTube gives us, and we're just going to paste it right into this window. And now we have Gordon Ramsay's video that was it was being used there. But obviously you don't want to use somebody else's video, because you get stuff like this. Unless you're Gordon Ramsay, then you can use a video like this. So we're going to switch it back to the default video that they had on there that just shows the steaks slowly cooking. And then we can also, this little triangle down here, this is called a shape divider, and we can come over to the shape divider section, and you can do one on the top, you can do one on the bottom. This one's done on the bottom, and it's currently set to these restrictions. So let's say we want to make it full width, and then we want to give it a little bit more height. Or let's make it a little bit shorter, maybe right there. And so you can customize all of this in real time, and then once you get done making all of the changes that you want, you're happy with it, you hit update. Now if we go back to the website, which would be duplicated.local, all of the changes that we just made, which are probably going to be very similar to what the site looked like in the first place, you can see all of the changes that we made. So we have a higher peak over here, we have the words that are changed, and if we would have added the other images or the video, you'd be able to see those in real time as well. So let's go back to the home page here, and let's say we love the way this looks, but we don't like this image. We can come over here and hit edit image, and it'll show you the image that you can choose from. So I want to choose another image. Let's say this one right here is what I want to do. So that's a weird shaped image. We don't want it to be like that. So what we can go over here and do is set it to a custom size, and we can make it the 300 by 600 height that matches the other image that is here. And then you can also you can change it up a little bit. You can change the alignment of it, and then you can do a lot of really cool things with it. And then you also have style options for that as well. So let's say if you wanted to dim it on hover, you would come over here and on hover and make it a little bit opaque, increase the opacity a little bit. You can change the duration. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that you can do to each one of these elements that you have here, and you can change all of these. So this right here is an image, this right here is an image. You just swap out the images, or if you just don't like it, right click and then you hit delete, and now that's gone. So if we update this page again, our image that was here and this image should be changed and gone respectively. There we go. So we got our new image, and then that other image has been removed. So now let's just say I am happy with the home page. It looks exactly the way I want it to. So I'm going to come over here to our About Us now. And you can do the exact same thing with your About Us, the same way that you did the other one. So this one right here uses like a image slider, which some of the images apparently didn't populate over. So let's go and fix this. So we click on Edit with Elementor. and then we're going to remove the image that isn't showing here. So we click on this, and we're going to edit these images, and right here it has where there's 3 images and then this one image is broken. So let's go ahead and just delete it, and we're going to update that image again. You can also come in here and say that, let's say you want to do 2 images at the same time, or if you want to be a little more adventurous, you can do 4 images at the same time, and it'll repeat through this slider. You also have the style properties that you can change inside of it. So you have images that are overlaid on top of it. You can put them on the outside of it, that way that they're displayed there. There's a lot of really cool stuff that you can do with these two. The advanced tab, you probably won't need to use that too much, but if you ever do need to use it, it does give you like where you can do absolute positioning, so position absolute, which in this case we're not really going to use, but that will allow you to kind of drag it around and place it where you want to place the image. I would recommend not doing absolute unless you kind of know what you're doing, but we're going to move it back to the default for now. And then let's say we wanted to create a section right above this, but we don't want to modify this content. So we're going to hit the plus sign over here, and that's going to give us a new section. Then we're going to hit the plus sign again, and we're going to say that we want to do a 2-column layout. So now we have our column here and our column here. So we can click plus over here, and that'll bring us up to all the stuff that we can choose from. So let's say we want to put a header here, and we can change out whatever the text we want to say. So we can say this header is new, and then over here we want to add text. So we're going to drag and drop this text editor and add whatever text we want to add to it. I'm not really filling the spacing on it right here, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it over a little bit. And we also have where it's very close to the top, so we can click on this again, just like we did with the top section. We can click on this, and then we go to Style, Advanced, and we can modify this padding. So this isn't something you would have to do, but I think that in this case this one has padding on it and this one doesn't have padding, so we want to add some padding to it. So you can either modify all of them at the same time, so this modifies all of them at the same time, or you can come over here and uncheck or unclick the link values, and then let's say I want to give this one 100 pixels padding on the top, and then I want to give it another 50 pixels on the bottom. So now that header is completely configured the way that we want it to. And we want to make it stand out a little bit more, so let's give it a top margin of, I don't know, let's do 50 pixels. So that way it's not butted right up against it. And then we're going to change the background style to a color, and we're going to make it kind of like a dark red, and we're going to change this text. We're going to come over here to the style, to the text color. We want to make it a white, and then we're also going to go to style over here and change this text color to white. Now we're going to hit update on this page, and I'm going to go back out to my duplicated.local, and we're going to click on the about page to see our changes that we just made. Alright, so there's our new section. Our slider has been, our images have been changed, and that's pretty much it. That's the way you go through the website using Elementor to modify the website as you need it, and you can do this with any of the pages. And then if you get to the point where you're happy with it, you can use our previous tutorial where you duplicate the site and then you push it out to your server. Or if you end up breaking something and you just really don't like it, you can always go back in here and go to your appearance and starter templates, and you can download a new theme, or you can re-download the same theme, wipe it out, and start fresh without having to worry about breaking the website. You can always use their default templates to modify the content to make it look the way that you want it to look, but you don't have to customize it unless you just want to. You can go in there and leave the branding all the same. You can just change the change the colors or change the logo up here, then change the text. But you can use the same button colors that they have, the same overlays and everything. Everything that they have on there you can use. One more thing before I forget about it. So let's say that here on this image they actually have where it's built in that you can use these free images. So if you click on choose image, you usually have your upload files in your media library, but they also have an integration with Pixabay. So you can click on free images from Pixabay and then do a search for steak, or whatever food that you have. And I really like the way this one looks, so I'm going to click on this and I'm going to save and insert this image. That way it is using that as the image background now, and it's fully responsive. Once you could resize your browser, you could check out the mobile version of it. You can also click over here to go to responsive mode, so you can see what it looks like in a tablet, in a phone. So you can edit it for desktop and then edit it for tablet and then edit it for mobile as well. So I'm going to switch out of this, go back to the desktop, and I'm going to update this. I'm going to go back to our page, and the changes that I just made will be there with the new imagery. So just to kind of summarize what we went over: Astra template, and then Astra plugin, and then choose a template that you want to use for your business. They have a lot of templates for you to look at and for you to choose. So just kind of play around with it, find a template that works for you, and then you can push it out and have your own fully functional website without having to ever edit code. Everything's drag and drop. Everything's pretty intuitive. So I think that's going to be it for this video. I hope that you learned something between this or our custom theme development if you know how to code. But I think this would get a lot of new businesses started with building their own websites very easily without having to learn code or having to hire a webmaster. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video right now. If you like this, definitely comment, subscribe, like the video, hit the alert, hit the notification bell for alerts in the future whenever I push out a new video. I would love to hear from you if you are interested in learning more about the custom stuff that you can do with WordPress, or if you want to go this route, I can show you how to implement more Elementor functionality and stuff like that. So again, like and subscribe, and I guess that's for now. So I will talk to you later.